Gadget World for the best technical advice.
Welcome to the all-new interesting episode of Gadget World for the best technical advice. Lenovo S90 Sisley wants to do many things at once. Well, Lenovo didn't have to invest too much into this S90 Sisley smartphone. But when it comes to the features, it has inherited a lot from its predecessor model YZ. Well, all that Lenovo has done is that it has gone forward and repacked this YZ smartphone into this Lenovo S90 Sisley. So let's get to know what are the interesting features that this Lenovo S90 has got to offer for the users. So guys, here we have yet another interesting gadget from Lenovo, and that is Lenovo's Sisley S90, and that is definitely going to be one of really good contenders compared to the mid-range smartphones out there in the market. It has tried to incorporate everything into this new specification, that is new gadget that the Lenovo has launched. That is, the Lenovo S90 Sisley is trying to do many things at once with this gadget that has introduced in the electronic market. The Lenovo's S90 Sisley is definitely not going to disappoint any of its really fanatic audience out there who is looking in for really good gadgets in this electronic market. With its really 5-inch display size, that means with its really pocket-friendly display size, with its Super AMOLED capacitive touchscreen, and that too which is capable of recording high-definition videos at really good clarity, this Lenovo's S90 Sisley is definitely going to grab the attention of all the users out there. So getting to know what exactly is within the hood of this Lenovo's S90 Sisley, well, it comes in two different versions. That is, it comes in two internal storage features, one being 16 GB which has got a 1 GB of internal RAM, and the other being 32 GB of internal storage facility which has got a 2 GB of internal RAM. So these two versions of this Lenovo's S90 is definitely going to be pretty much attractive when it comes to the electronic market, especially depending upon what the taste this gadget freaks out there are looking for. So moving on to the imaging department of this Lenovo's S90 Sisley, well, its front-facing camera is a 13 megapixel camera which has got 1080p of video recording possible, and when it comes to the secondary camera, that is a selfie shooter, is a huge 8 megapixel camera which also has this LED flashlight enabled for getting really good photography, that is a front-facing selfie shooter photography, and also at the same time to have a really crystal clear video calling experience. So the imaging department of this Lenovo's S90 Sisley is one of the best attractions that you're going to find about this gadget. So moving on to the operating system features of this Lenovo's S90 Sisley, well, it runs on an Android version 4.4.4 KitKat operating system, and that really helps in giving a really smooth performance and also performance without much hindrances. The multitasking is also taken to the next big level with the provision of really good software features that this Lenovo's S90 Sisley has got to offer for the users. So moving on to the final verdict of this Lenovo's S90 Sisley, well, let's just sum up the pros of this. Well, it's got a really good imaging department feature. That is, its front-facing camera is a huge 13 megapixel camera that helps in capturing really crystal clear images and also high-definition videos. And the front-facing camera, the primary camera, is a huge 8 megapixel camera. That's 8 megapixel camera which actually helps in capturing really crystal clear selfie shots. Yes, that is one of the best things that you can talk about this Lenovo's S9050. And the second best thing that you can talk about this Lenovo's S90 Sisley is with its design features, which are so much similar to its iPhone 6 model. So these are the best pros that you can talk about this Lenovo's S90. So moving on to the cons of this Lenovo's S90 Sisley, well, it is definitely one of the bad thing that you would point about this Lenovo's S90 Sisley, and that being a lack of a micro SD card slot. Yes, it is available in two different versions of 16 GB where 1 GB of RAM is available, and the other being 32 GB where 2 GB of internal RAM is available. But the lack of an external storage space, that is the lack of putting in a micro SD card slot, is definitely going to be one of the big downside that you can point about this Lenovo's S90 Sisley. But apart from that, it is pretty much of a fair mid-range smartphone that is available from Lenovo, and that is available at a price range of Rs 18,700. The next gadget that we are going to take from our kitty is a smartphone from the well-known brand of Micromax, and that is Micromax A177 Canvas Juice. Well, here's yet another affordable smartphone from Micromax that has got almost all the features that a user is looking for in the entry-level market segment. So let's have a quick tour on all the interesting specifications that this smartphone has got to offer for the users. The next big and interesting gadget is from Micromax, and that is Micromax Canvas Juice 2. Well, it has got a lot of interesting specifications that is definitely going to grab the attention of all those gadget freaks out there. So let's have a quick tour on what are the interesting specifications that it has got to offer for you. So starting with the display features of this Micromax Canvas Juice 2, well, it comes in a pocket-friendly display size of 5-inch display, which has got an IPS LCD display panel, and that too with a really fair screen resolution of 720 by 1280. So that means you wouldn't have much of an issues with the viewing angle and also the screen brightness. Even at bright daylight or at dim daylight, you could definitely find no issues in viewing the images and also reading text messages with this Micromax Canvas Juice 2. And in addition to that, it has got a really good Corning Gorilla Glass protection, that is version 3 protection, which is definitely going to be a really good resistant to fingerprint marks and dust. So moving on to the configuration features of this Micromax Canvas Juice 2, well, it runs on a version 5 Android Lollipop operating system, that is the latest version of which gives direct access to the features, all the Google features and app features. So that means it is definitely going to render a really good calm performance, and also the multitasking is taken to the next big level with this Micromax Canvas Juice 2. on to the imaging departments of this Micromax can was used to, well, it has got an 8 megapixel of back camera, that is a primary camera, which actually is an autofocus camera, and that also has an LED flash coupled with it, which helps in capturing high definition videos at the same time. And the front facing camera, that is a secondary camera, that is a selfie shooter camera, is a basic 2 megapixel camera, which helps in capturing quite decent selfies, and that too, along with it, you can have really good video calling experience enabled with it. So these are the imaging department features that this Micromax camera was used to has got to offer for the users. So moving on to one of the important aspects when it comes to the smartphone, and that being the battery capacity features. Well, this Micromax camera was used to offers a huge 3000 mAh of battery capacity, which offers about 9 hours of talk time and 435 hours of standby time on 3G. So this is definitely going to be one of the important or one of the best thing that the users are going to find attractive about this Micromax camera was used to. So let's sum up the pros and cons of this Micromax camera was used to. Well, the pros is definitely going to be one of the best thing, and that being its huge battery capacity feature that this Micromax camera was used to has got to offer for the users. It offers a huge 3000 mAh of battery capacity, and that is one of the best things that you can talk about this Micromax camera was used to. And in addition to that, it has got a really good version 3 Corning Gorilla screen protection, which actually provides a really good display features. So that is yet another best thing that you can talk about this Micromax camera was used to. And last but not the least is its reasonable price range. So moving on to the con features of this Micromax camera was used to. Well, it doesn't have much of any con features, but one of the biggest con thing is its mediocre front facing camera. Yes, it has got a front facing camera of a basic 2 megapixel camera. That might sound like one of the con that might be taken as a con feature, but that at the same time is definitely not going to affect its other features, which is definitely offering basic standard configurations when it comes to the other hardware and software specifications. But this could be taken as one of the downsides, which offers only 2 megapixel of mediocre camera front facing feature. So moving on to the final verdict of this Micromax camera was used to. Well, it's pretty one of the mid-range smartphone that is very low-end smartphone when it comes to the reasonable price range, which offers almost all the decent specifications, and in addition to that, a really huge battery capacity. So this Micromax camera was used to is definitely going to not put your heart down, and it is available at a very interesting price range of rupees 8,500. The next gadget that we are going to introduce to you is one of the well-known Korean flagship model of Samsung, and that is Samsung S6. Well, with the introduction of Samsung S5, it has had a rumor that Samsung has lost all its charm within the users in the electronic market. But with this Samsung S6, the Samsung has tried to rebound back into its previous fame and name. So let's get to see what all interesting and abundant features that the Samsung has inculcated into this S6 smartphone. So introducing yet another one of the latest among the Galaxy series from Samsung, and that is Samsung Galaxy S6. Well, it comes in a pretty pocket-friendly display size of 5.1-inch display feature, and that has got a reasonable capacitive touchscreen with a huge screen resolution of 1440 by 2560. So this is definitely going to render a really good display features with its really crystal clear images and also pictures. This Samsung Galaxy S6 is a pretty much pocket-friendly kind of a display features with its 5.1-inch display, and it is not so heavy. It is available at 138 gram of display features, and also the overall build is pretty much charming, keeping up the standard of the Galaxy series from this Korean model of Samsung. So talking about one of the important features when it comes to smartphones is battery capacity. Well, the Samsung Galaxy S6 offers a really huge battery capacity of about 2550 mAh. So that is pretty much on the high end, but not too fantastic, but pretty much maintaining the standards when compared to the predecessor models of the Galaxy series from this Korean model of Samsung. So moving on to the imaging department features of the Samsung Galaxy S6, well, it has got a primary camera, that is a back-end camera, which has got a huge 16 megapixel camera, and the front-facing camera, that is a selfie shooter camera, being a huge, really good 5 megapixel camera. So in overall, the imaging department of the Samsung Galaxy S6 is definitely going to grab the attention of all those fanatics out there who are pretty much conscious about the imaging department features when it comes to choosing a smartphone. Dazzling display and fast charging are one of the key features about the Samsung Galaxy S6. Yes, it has got a really dazzling display with its fair 5.1-inch display size, and that with a really super AMOLED capacitive touchscreen, and with a huge screen resolution of 1440 by 2560 screen resolution. It is definitely going to render a really good performance when it comes to reading text and also viewing images with this Samsung Galaxy S6. So moving on to the final verdict of this Samsung Galaxy S6, well, it has got a lot to offer for its users with its huge charging capacity, and in addition to that, a really beautiful and dazzling screen features, that is the display features. And irrespective to that, it is maintaining the standards when compared to the predecessor models from Samsung, and it is available at a price range of Rs 49,900. So with this, we are coming to the end of this episode. Hope that all the informations we shared with you people were pretty much informative and abundant for you guys to choose upon which smartphone to end up with. So until we meet again in the next episode, it is me, Devi Narayan, signing off. Bye and take care.